talking about your relationship with Guru Gyan Prakash Ghosh. So I had two things I was wondering about. Is there a piece of advice or a lesson or something that stays with you every day in terms of your training with Guruji? Of course, there's so many things. But is there a practical piece of advice or anything that comes to you when you...
From Gandhar?
From Guruji.
From Baba? Too many. Too many. It's very difficult to choose. But one very important amongst many would be, as you rightly said, I think you mentioned it during the conversation, is lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
The importance of lyrics in raga music.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, we vocalists, we are singing a poetry. We are singing something that can be quite profound as a narrative.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important that with the mood of the rag and the intricacies and the techniques and everything, we also pay a lot of attention to the mood of the literature.
Yeah.
Of the poetry that's being sung. And also let that poetry also choose the narrative of the rag. So not only decide the the performance and the journey of it only based on the rag and its journey, but also the literature and its journey. I think that's very, very important, and that's something that needs a complete reorientation in how you approach a performance. That I think is one thing that I am trying. It's not easy. It's very, very tough to keep the right balance of the literature and the rag and the mood of it, and kind of merge it in a way that it sounds very spontaneous and not kind of superimposed one into the other. So that's very important, one thing. The other thing, he casually sometimes says things and then I keep thinking about it forever. So he one day said, "You're singing everything good, everything's okay, going good. Rags are correct, the way you sing, they're all good. But I'm still waiting for you to become the rag." And it just struck me.
Wow.
Yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure, not at all. No. So he's just casually said that, and while he was just coming back from my home,
Oh, wow.
he was just getting into the car and he said this and he left. And I was like, huh? Really? So yeah. So I really don't know what that journey would be like. But I am interested to know what becoming a rag would feel like. Because one is, in singing a rag, you and the rag are two things. And you becoming a rag is going beyond the binary.
Yeah.
So I think that's one journey that, I was telling you, Bhairavi, I think that somehow feels like it would be something like that. But I'm yet to get there. I'm yet to feel and experience that.
But do you feel like with Bhairavi that could be one of the rags where you feel that merging and becoming like...
If it happens with one rag, it'll happen with every rag.
Right, yeah.
Because it's becoming transparent.
Yeah. And going
it is
across.
Absolutely becoming zero. It's about me vanishing from the equation.
Mm-hmm.
So if that can happen, then it'll happen with every rag.
Yeah.
So it's a journey of life.
Yeah.
More than a journey of music.
And that's something you can't put a time or a...
You can't. You just have to commit. You have to just, deep dive and see where it takes you.
Yeah.
So yeah. And it takes immense sense of security for someone to be ready to vanish in a rag.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think of art, in a beautiful painting, you don't see the painter.
No.
In a beautiful sculpture, you don't see the sculptor.
Mm.
So in a beautiful piece of music, you ideally should not see the musician.
Mm.
So the presence of the musician actually disrupts the journey of the music.
Yeah.
So it's like that. It's disappearing as an I.
Yeah.
from the space where art is speaking.
So that's interesting, because I was thinking about, in terms of this music where it is so deeply connected to Indian spirituality.
It is.
So do you feel like it is possible for this music to be a spiritual journey where you do disappear, where that becomes a part of the process, or does one need to have a spiritual practice outside of this as well?
Very necessary.
You do.
Music in itself, it doesn't teach you to do that.
Okay.
The spiritual journey is an independent journey.
Right.
If somebody is doing both together, the both journeys will kind of be intertwined,
right,
and they will have impact on each other, and they will translate into the other journey. But spiritual evolution is something, evolving spiritually is something that automatically does not happen when you do music.
No.
I mean, there's an understanding. I think I'm kind of questioning a lot of common belief about Indian music, but this is my personal opinion, that I don't think that music heals just like that.
Heals the person, the doer, or the or the listener?
It's easier for the receiver to be healed.
Right, yeah.
It's not as easy for the doer to be healed.
No, yeah.
That healing is a different journey.
Yeah.
So when music makes you feel spiritually elevated, that's again the receiver. It does not entail that the doer is also as much spiritually evolved, and that is why that music can, spiritually move someone.
Yeah.
Someone in the sense, the receiver. It does not entail that. That's a different journey.
But then if I mean, and it's probably incredibly rare, but for a musician to get to that place of embodying the rag, say we were just talking about, will that not be a case of where one would have had to grow spiritually to get to that
It can
place?
be, it might not.
But it might not be, right?
It might not.
Yeah.
So it depends. It depends on the state of being of that person.
Okay. Yeah. It's not easy.
It's not easy. But because it's not easy, it's so exciting to try.
It is exciting to try.
Because as I think, till a point in life, you want to do things that will make you bigger.
Yes, yeah.
That will make you look bigger, stronger. And then there comes a place in life where you know that becoming bigger is not the journey.
No.
It's a journey of coming home.
Yeah.
It's a journey of being one with everything else. So as much as you kind of start the journey by trying out to stand out, to be different, to be bigger, to be stronger, to be louder, to be taller, whatever, all the superlatives, you finally realize the destination is not in standing out. The destination is becoming one with everything else.
Yeah. And becoming a vessel for it, to be able to receive more of that. Yeah.
So you basically you come back where you start from, which is in the nothingness, which is when you're nothing. Yeah. Because you're everything when you're nothing.
I mean, I do find on a very basic level when I sit to practice that I have to, there's a lot of ego eradication that needs to happen.
You can hear it in your voice, the way your voice sounds.
Yeah.
The texture of your voice. When it comes from a place of, I don't know, I'm not anything.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to prove. I'm not here to kind of show anything. I'm here to see. I'm here to experience. I'm here to become. That voice and this voice will be very different.
Very different, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And then everything follows with a possible difference.
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of being a guru, like we've spoken about,
I'm not a guru. At my best, I can be a teacher. But a guru is a different
But I don't know,
thing.
teacher doesn't quite fit either. I don't know. I don't know what the word.
I don't
What
know.
do your students? I know you don't have many, but what in terms of it, personal one-on-one time because of your.
They call me whatever,
What do
but
they
it
call
really, they call me whatever. Many people call me Didi, many people call me Auntie, some call me Guruma, I don't know. I mean, whatever they call me, it's really, I mean, my son calls me Mum, so yeah, it's the same equation when it comes to music. So, yeah, and I really, I mean, whatever they call me, they argue, they fight, they ask for, for me to make food for them. So it's a very different equation.
Yeah.
Because the times have changed. I'm also a very different kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
So my friendship with my students is a far stronger equation than the command based equation that generally works for a Guru-Shishya kind of space. So and Guru is a very, very huge responsibility. It's a selfless journey of becoming more and more empty. I don't know if I'm made for that. I really don't know. So I think I'm a teacher at the best. And I
Still doesn't feel like the right word somehow, but anyway.
I teach very few students, very, very few of them.
Yeah.
But they are my kids, and they belong to me. I feel responsible for them. And I think what is beautiful is I think so much more can be achieved in sharing music if the basic equation is based on love and sharing and mutual respect and valuing each other.
Mm.
I think that's one thing that has been radically changing from the previous generations to our generation is that it's not a hierarchy based relationship.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, is how has your relationship with the people that you are teaching changed based on this generation?
It's absolutely different. It's very, very different. When it comes to music, of course, I can see when they're lost, I can see it in their eyes when they're in tears. I can see when they're in absolute admiration of the music.
Mm-hmm.
I can see their respect. I can see their love more than the respect, which is beautiful because I believe in love, I think, much more than respect. Because I think when you genuinely love someone or something, you automatically respect the space.
Mm.
But when you're taught to respect, you sometimes don't know how to love.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
It's like an additional layer. But when you love, every other equation works.
Yeah.
So I believe in love so much more.
Mm.
So, I believe in giving a hug and getting a hug rather than somebody coming and touching my feet. It's scary for me. So I think with the next generation, the younger ones, I learned so much from them. The kind of thought process, how absolutely non-judgmental they are.
Mm.
It's incredible. It's just something I really, truly, truly admire. I wish I could be so open to differences and appreciating that and understanding that and respectfully disagree sometimes.
Yeah.
And to be authentic, to not struggle with everything in life, to let life be,
Mm-hmm.
to choose to be less insecure,
Mm-hmm.
less, scared
Mm-hmm.
of everything that's going on in life. So I really, really admire a lot of the qualities that they have.
Yeah.
And still how grounded they are.
Mm.
If you embrace them with love,
Yeah.
they're so rooted, they're so grounded in tradition, they so believe in your principles and ethics and way of looking at life. Maybe they will differ in certain ways, but they respect where you come from.
Yeah.
So I think for them authenticity matters a lot.
Mm.
You being true is something that they almost demand.
Yeah.
They don't want to know what you have heard and what you have learned. They want to know what you feel and what you believe in, truly, truly. And I think appreciating them as they are has taught me a lot of things about how to communicate with them.
Yeah. That's incredible. And in terms of moving on from the students that you and people that you've been guiding and teaching, the sort of the next generation of musicians that we're seeing now, of Indian classical musicians, how do you feel that they're having to think about the music for the time that we're in, and do you have any advice for them?
See, we are in a very interesting time. I am a hopeless optimist. So I will only have very, very optimistic views about everything. So it's a changing time. And this has been going on for some time, and this will continue to be like this for a long time now. Because there's so many things that have been very, very radically, because times are moving so fast.
Yeah.
And we are having to learn so many things so quickly.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult to go very, very deep into something at this moment. Because every 2 months, 3 months, you're having to learn a different thing.
Yeah.
A different way of looking at things, a different way of functioning, a different way of talking, a different way of presenting yourself.
Different skill.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you are not in that time where you can concentrate in one thing and forget about all the rest.
Yeah.
So no matter how much we judge this generation saying that, okay, they're always on Facebook and Instagram and doing this and that, and when do they have the time to 16 hours of practice?
Yeah.
Close your doors and forget about everything. And when are you doing your first chilla and things like that, which is absolutely romantic. I understand. And I value from the generation that I am. I totally value where they're coming from. But we also have to practically think that, we as a generation and the next ones, we are facing such amazing challenges. And it's so overwhelming at times. It's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
So, my suggestion to them is, first of all, first I want to tell them that, I see you, I hear you totally. And I'm with you as much as I can. The only thing I would suggest is that all these platforms where we are having to be, it's kind of pushing us to be very similar to each other. Whereas we know that individuality is our only strength, especially when we are into a creative art form, because creative art form is only creative and art if yours is not like anybody else's. Otherwise, it's not creative, it's repetitive.
Yes, yeah.
So trends and algorithms and numbers, while all of that is very, very valuable, I would only want to suggest that don't lose your uniqueness, your authenticity, your truth, your identity in the quest of, going for the numbers and the algorithms and the trends. So work on that, because going forward, there was a time when there was Orkut, there was a time when Facebook was the biggest thing. Now maybe Instagram is the biggest thing, or TikTok is the next thing. But you are your only thing. These platforms will come and go, and you will struggle to fit into their algorithms as they keep on changing. But one thing that will help you sail through all these changes is knowing who you are.
Right.
And if you know who you are and you can translate that into your art form, that is your biggest strength. You may be very, very different from everybody else, and it's a good news. If you're different, hey, I'm with you, totally. Because then you're good news. If you're like many other people, then you are a number.
Yeah.
If you're not like anybody else, you are an entity. You are an identity. So please work on your identity. Whatever time that takes, take that time out from the madness, external madness. And that is seeping into the internal madness as well. So for creative artists, I think it's very important to shut the noise out for some time, at least on a daily basis, and see what you hear when you listen to what's inside of you. Because outside the noise is very loud and it's always changing. How long will you try to fit in when everything is changing?
Yeah.
You will have to constantly change if you're only have to fit in. So as much as you'll have to fit in, I understand you have to use these tools, but use these tools for what? to tell the story that you are, and which has to be different from all other stories that are around.
Yeah.
So it's very challenging. In a time when the noise outside was not as loud, it was easy to work on the story that you are and that I am and that she is.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's becoming more and more challenging. But unfortunately, that's the only way to sail through. That's the only way to be. You can only be you. I can only be me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I try to be you, I will miserably fail. Rather than trying that, I think I can be a lesser, but a lesser me is better than, me trying to become you.
Mm.
So that individuality, that authenticity, that having the courage to stand apart and say, yes, maybe I'm not doing it like everybody else, but this is who I am, this is what I believe in.
Yeah.
I think staying connected to that inner voice is becoming more and more important in this loud noise all around.
I think that's such incredible, brilliant advice, and it's so easy to get drowned out by the noise,
Yeah, because it's actually very, very loud.
It's very loud, and I notice that the days where I'm less on my phone, or if I'm listening to things that are more focused, like a podcast or something, then I'm more tapped in.
Yeah.
But if I'm just scrolling or just, it's,
But we all do that. I mean, I'm no saint. It doesn't mean that I don't scroll, like doom scrolling is one of the things that we all do. I do as well. And I know I'm guilty of that as well, because it's so tempting at times. But just to be aware, one good thing about our generation is we were working on ourselves, on the basics, when there was no noise, fortunately. Only 2 television channels, those were boring programs, nothing interesting there. And didn't have any other device, any other entertainment, some CDs, cassettes, that's all. And that was also, chosen by our parents. So we only knew the kind of songs that were coming home.
Yeah.
And that our parents were choosing for us. So anything else existed, we had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
So that was great in a way that by the time we were kind of ready to kind of face the world and, start performing and start bringing what we've been working on, that is when the noise started, happening.
Mm-hmm.
When we were in our very, very preparatory time, noises were less.
Yeah.
But with your generation, the younger ones, I can totally understand. It's very tough. But, I think it's worth the effort.
Yeah, definitely. And with, we're starting to see some of Rishit's journey, and which is so wonderful to witness.
He's trying. We all are trying. We all are trying really hard. It's like a balancing act.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Some days are easy, some days are very tough.
But, with Rishit and his generation, what excites you about that generation that they are doing differently to us? Of course, they have different challenges, like you spoke about, but are there things that you think are, can take them really forward?
Yeah. I think what I really admire in them is their interest for, so when they're singing, they're also trying to play the piano.
Mm-hmm.
They're also trying to produce their own track.
Yeah.
They're also trying to, see what rhythm pattern, what goes. So it's not only, when I go to a studio, I have everything ready. They're just waiting for my voice. So sometimes, in the last so many years, why I kind of changed the way I function slightly in the last couple of years, is I was thinking that, okay, I'm just a voice. I'm just like a machine.
Mm-hmm.
So you prepare everything, I come, it's my voice, and that's where it ends. Then I'm not a creative head, I'm not a creative heart, I'm not a creative input into the song apart from the voice.
Right.
So that sometimes is, is little restrictive. Why I started composing, why I started writing my lyrics, why I started, producing my own things.
Yeah.
Is because, what about my vision? What about how I see my music, where I see my voice? The perspective of the song has been set by someone else's creativity, someone else's idea. I just have to fit in. To an extent, it was great. But beyond a point, I started feeling, what if I design a song for myself? How will that sound? What would that designing be? if I write a song for myself, what would that song be? Will it be something similar to what I've been doing, or will it be very different?
Yeah.
So, and will I try for a tune which pushes me to project my voice in a different way, to make my voice sound slightly different?
Mm-hmm.
So, what kind of genre would I choose? Would
Yeah.
it be classical? Would it not be classical? So, I think that's what this generation is doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're trying to make it their song. They write it, they compose it, they produce it, they arrange it, they play the instruments. Whatever that is, it's one journey that's a more holistic journey. That's a more holistic way of looking at creativity.
Yeah. And production as well.
Production,
yeah, definitely.
So that's like a more 360-degree panoramic kind of a perspective to a piece of music.
Yeah.
And that ownership to that music is very different.
Yes. Yeah.
After having produced my own things, I know, I have a very different kind of an emotional connect with all those songs.
Yeah.
It feels like my own in a very different way. Everything I've sung is my own song.
Yeah.
But this feels like a very different thing. So that's one thing that I think with the younger generation, especially Rishit's generation, of course, the exposure to this is also very important, which they had very early on in life. I didn't have that. So that exposure, listening to different kinds of music, to understand soundscape, to understand the journey of a composition, how the composition moves, all these things, of course, it demands that kind of an exposure that this generation has. But again, in the middle of all this, knowing who you are is very important.
Very important. So, I mean, and also this connects to Pankh. Congratulations. Congratulations for that huge release this year.
Thank you.
And so what led you to creating that? Was there something, was it a group of moments, or was it something that happened that made you feel like, okay, this is what I want to be doing?
For last many years, I have been struggling creatively a lot.
Right.
Something that the YouTube clips and the Instagram posts don't tell is that there's been a lot of inner conflict, a lot of confusion, a lot of soul searching, a lot of questioning myself and my choices, and thinking what I would want to change, what I would want to not do or do going forward in my space of music. So I think one thing, of course, I was talking about that, that becoming just a voice was one thing that was really, really bothering me.
Yeah.
And I was also thinking that classical music demands a lot of technical brilliance, a lot of practice for that and all that. So, but there's a limit to how much technique, how much skill, how much speed, how much, complexities in rhythm, complexities in sargams and tans that you want to do, because I'm one of those singers who's known for the the speed and the tan and the sargams and the rhythmic complexities and all that. But there's a limit to that.
Okay.
And there's also fatigue to that.
Okay.
Creative fatigue.
Right.
I'm not saying that when you hear, you feel, oh God, no, I don't want to hear it again. Not that. But when you're churning into only that one aspect of your creativity, there's a fatigue that, you also want to balance it out. You want to also want to pacify that.
Yeah.
You also want to feel your equilibrium and then take the next flight.
Yeah.
So what is it that I was trying to land on? I was just trying to see that, okay, this technical journey is beautiful. And the journey of a rag, which is also very meditative in its own way, very, internal kind of a dialogue thing, that's also beautiful. But what else? And I think in classical music, predominantly that's what I've been doing all my life, I was craving for more emotional connect with my music.
Okay.
Not technical, not spiritual, but just emotional connect.
Yeah.
To feel more human in my music. to smile with my song, to cry with my song, to feel certain emotions that are very integral to my being, to my existence. I was thinking that if my heart wants to cry, what's that song? If my heart wants to smile, what's that song? What's that song going to be like for me? So I think that's what I was trying to search.
Right.
And I just wanted to be more human. I wanted my music to be more humane.
Yeah.
And the tradition, the legacy of classical music is so rich that sometimes it demands you to be a superhuman.
Yes, yeah.
I just wanted my very ordinary, normal human self to speak through my music.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to find that.
Yeah.
And I was searching for that.
That makes sense in terms of how the music is.
It's almost like it's almost godly.
Yeah.
It's so rich, it's so intricate, it's so out of the box, it's so intense, it's so divine.
Yeah.
That almost you have to kind of work on superlatives only.
Yeah.
And I was missing my normal self.
Yeah.
I was just missing the flawed, normal, clumsy, goofy girl that I am.
Yeah.
And I wanted a creative expression
output for that. So would you say that was your guiding light when you were creating the music?
I was not creating the music. I was actually trying to find that in me.
Right.
Because before I knew who I am, I learned who the musician is.
Right.
Because that journey of knowing musically who I am started so early in life that soul searching for who I am started much late.
Right. Yeah.
So I wanted to find who I am. And I had to take off the layers of what music and its conditioning has taught me to be.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go to the very, very rock bottom of who I am.
Yeah.
And I realized that the conditioning, the society, the legacy, the tradition, the lineage, the family, everything demanded me to be a certain kind. But underneath all that, I'm none.
Yeah.
I'm just a very normal, ordinary girl who has done so many things, who has, messed up so many things, who would have loved to do so many things but didn't get a chance to do all that, and who has missed out on doing so many things. So I felt the pain, I felt the pleasure, I felt, the FOMO. I felt, it would have been lovely to do certain things, but now I can't. I also felt that, okay, whatever I've missed out, whatever I can do now, let's do that.
Yeah.
So it was very, very liberating, that journey. It was cathartic.
Yeah.
And from that, when I wanted to sing all of that, I think Pankh happened.
Right.
So I did not want to make an album.
It kind of matched where you were at. Yeah, yeah.
So I was on a journey already of soul searching, of finding who I am. Forget music, just me. Because music is a very, very integral and important part of my life. But it's a part of my life.
Yeah.
And that realization came very, very late. Because this line of thinking was almost, was like a sin for me. That how can music be a part of my life? Music is everything. It's all of it.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Because that's how I grew up.
Yeah. Yeah. To be able to get to be immersed in it.
Yeah. So that bubble was all I knew.
Yeah.
So for me to break that bubble.
Yeah.
And come out of it and see that bubble from a distance and still value it so much.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that happened very late. And when I started looking at that bubble from a distance, then I started seeing, okay, so this is me if I'm not inside the bubble.
Yeah.
And because that being is also so much seeped into music, there's music to that also. That existence, which is not in the bubble, which is not in the legacy, which is not in the tradition. But those, those instincts are ingrained in me. So when I started to think who I am and sing it, that's when Pankh happened. So I'm partially a producer. I'm a songwriter. I'm also some parts I've composed. I've produced this album. This is about my life. I laugh and I cry and I do everything that a human expression would feel free to do. And all of that put together is punk.
Wow. That's so, wow. So, I mean, I feel like you've answered so many questions in one in terms of what has, what are you loving about the music making process at the moment in your life with punk, as well as everything that you're doing?
I think I'm just loving the fact that if I ask myself who I am, my answer is I'm a singer.
Yeah.
Not an Indian classical singer or a khayal singer or a thumri singer. I think in my capacity, I'm just trying to push the boundaries as much as possible. I'm trying to talk about my life through music.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever that music is, I'm just getting to do that. Whether it's punk, whether it's my classical concerts, whether it's everything experimental that I'm doing at the moment. I'm working on a few. So it just opened up a horizon for me where I'm free to take my flight, and it's an endless sky, and it's just, there are endless possibilities, and there's so much that one can do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so inspiring and so motivating. And yet, when the grounding is very, very strong, when you've done what it takes, then I think then it's very spontaneous. It's not coming from a place of, struggling or proving a point.
No.
It's just coming from a place of letting me be.
And flowing with it.
Yeah. And just letting things, that kind of energy take over. And wherever it takes me, I think I'm finally ready and happy to take my leap of faith. And wherever that takes me, I say this leap of faith a lot of times, because it's Ustad Zakir Hussain ji, Uncle Ji's line. He kept on telling this to me. I want to see your leap of faith. I think finally I'm happy that I'm on that journey.
That's wonderful. Wow.
Yeah.
And actually, well, this year has been, you have been literally all over the world. So on a practical level, what are some of the things that you do to take care of your voice?
I'm doing it mostly wrong. I know what I am supposed to do, but I'm not being able to do all of that. Less talking. I've been talking for so long now. But yes, less talking is one thing. That also gives me some silence, some rest from my voice, some rest from my mind. Journaling is something that I do regularly.
Mm-hmm.
I should take care of my health, which I'm not being able to do properly. Food is something that I'm little vigilant about. Very simple, very, homemade the best, otherwise very light.
So when you're traveling, you eat more lighter food.
More lighter food. And I'm slightly lactose intolerant, so that. I have this acid reflux thing, so no fried, no caffeine. So I'm off tea and coffee for a very long time, for years now. So as much as possible. So these are the physical factors. Okay, taking steam because different weather, pollution. I'm allergic to dust. So all that is the physiological part of it. And I think meditating. Mm-hmm. When I say meditating, I just make it very simple. Like, I think I practice silence. That's what it is for me. Nothing super complicated. And just trying to empty it out as much as possible, because as performers, as traveling musicians, we're exposed to very, very different kinds of energies all the time. And I think I'm just getting old. My God.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're sensitive to these things.
No.
It's beautiful to, especially when you're doing music, your energy spaces are so open and vulnerable and exposed. So I think a lot of cleansing needs to happen on that level as well, which sometimes is helpful if you believe in you have been practicing a particular system. It works differently for different people.
Yeah.
But that basically coming back to your zero as much as possible before you head towards another up and down, topsy-turvy.
Would you say that is something, meditation or being in silence is something that is a non-negotiable? Like, what is there? Is there something that you do every day, regardless of where you are in the world.
Yeah. So my practice, wherever I am, which is mostly singing my my bass note, and a little bit of here and there, which gives me the fluidity of my voice, and the breath control is something that's crucial. That's one thing that I'll do wherever I am in the world. I would do my journaling every day, and I would practice silence every day wherever I am, and I'll call home and talk to my son.
Oh, amazing. I know, I remember when you were in London, I think it was the concert at the Barbican. I think that was maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I stayed with you that night. And the following morning, she had much less sleep than I did. And you were on the phone to Rishit, I remember.
Yeah.
And I was
so
like,
that,
wow,
that is,
how are you doing
so
that?
wherever I am in the world, these are the 4 things that I will do no matter what.
Wow, amazing. And in terms of actually voice projection, can you speak a little bit about the correct voice projection for Indian singing?
The natural voice projection with the deepest breathing,
Right.
is if I have to define the Indian way of projecting your voice. When I say Indian, I don't necessarily mean the playback singing projection.
Yeah, the film
because
music.
that's very different.
Yeah.
Because that has a different narrative to follow. The music is not its own narrative.
Oh,
The
I
music
see.
follows another story.
Right.
So depending on what that story is, the voice has to sound, the song has to sound certain kind.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think of that.
And so music is not independent there.
Yeah.
Music is dependent on another story.
On the story, yeah.
So, but for independent music, Indian traditional independent music, the voice, when you take the deepest breath, which means your posture has to be certain kind, your diaphragm has to be open, your shoulder has to be stretched, your spinal cord will have to be kind of straight and erect and comfortably. And then when you take the deepest breath through your mouth, and then you project your voice, and then keep that in a uniform sustain.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not it's like it's not it's not from here. It's from here.
Mm-hmm.
So which is very airy, very fluid, very I should say, it's like, when you I think we discussed this, it's painting with air. So when you see a brush stroke, a master's brush stroke is the smoothest.
Yeah.
So if I try to do a brush stroke, it'll be like this. So that's a voice. When it's not smooth, when it's not flowy, when it's not in one stroke.
Yeah.
So whatever brush that is, if you have a master painter's brush stroke, it'll be very balanced and smooth.
So the depth of the breath makes a huge difference there.
So the
as well.
depth of the breath
Yeah.
and how you exhale.
Mm-hmm.
You don't exhale in a blow.
No.
You exhale it in a uniform sustain. So the sustain has to be like a smooth So the smoother it is, the more flexible and fluid it is, it has more possibilities.
Yeah.
If it's hard, then a hard thing has to break for it to take a different shape.
Yeah.
Whereas a soft thing can be turned and twisted for it to take any shape that you want. That's what you want to do with your voice.
And singing with the Tanpura allows that softness to come out,
Yes.
right?
We all think that, electronic Tanpuras, Apple has given us so much facilities. Tanpura, Tabla Pro, this, that, the other. These are very convenient. It's in your phone. It's something that you always hold. And that's more important than your kidney and liver and heart. But no, the sympathetic vibration of an acoustic Tanpura is necessary. What it does to your voice, what it does to your posture, what it does to your texture of voice, what it does to your projection is unparalleled. Of course, this is great for a support, but an acoustic Tanpura is an acoustic Tanpura. There's nothing that can substitute. One thinks that a drone is not that important. What is it doing? But it's like the singing bowl when you chant. you can't do that with a I singing bowl pro.
No. It's not going to have the same
That's
effect.
not going to happen. When you have
Yeah.
to meditate and chant, you need the singing bowl.
Yeah, amazing. So just we'll end with some inspiration, your inspirations.
Yeah.
We've obviously spoken about your relationship with your gurus. When it comes to musicians that have inspired you, is there a performance that changed you? What was it and why?
Oh God!
I know.
Again, so many. My God.
So such a hard question, I know.
So many. One Vilat Khan Saab's performance at Sangeet Academy Festival.
Mm-hmm.
One Bhimsen Joshi performance at Doverlin Music Conference. One that I've heard on YouTube, but it has blown my mind, and I've cried to death.
Mm.
That's an Aliba Khan Saab's Shri Alap.
Mm.
Oh my God, I'm having goosebumps. And one Kishori Amunkarji's Basant Bahar that I always go to. One that I'm talking about Bhairavi. One that again Kishoriji's Babul Mura Nahi Har Chhoto Hi Jaye. Oh my God, I'm dying. I cried last night also listening to that. That one Gurjari Todi recording of Babas in Pakistan. That is like the killer Gujari Todi of the world. One Ahir Lalit performance live of Baba's. Rashid Khan Saab's Lalit. Oh my God, how I love it. Oh God, how many?
I mean, I said one, but that's fine.
So many.
You can't choose one.
I can go on and on and on and on because it's like a lifetime of. If I have to weave my entire lifetime into moments, these will be the moments.
Yeah, wow. And with the ragas, so at the moment you're exploring and, on a journey with Bhairavi.
Yeah.
Are there any other ragas that you're exploring that you haven't performed yet?
Yes. I haven't performed Kosi Kannada. I'm preparing, I guess. Jai Javanti I have not performed as much, but this time in Europe I did.
Mm.
And I really fell in love with the rag all over again. I've always very scared of that rag. It's very nuanced and complex in its own way. It sounds really smooth, but on the surface it's very smooth. But that smoothness of the surface takes a lifetime of mastery for someone to get. So that's one rag that I'm genuinely working on. And so Ahir Lalit is one rag that I'm thinking that I'll sing soon.
Mm. So is that a morning raga?
It's a morning rag.
Ah. So we need some morning concerts.
Yeah, I have some in January, so
Oh,
let's see.
nice. Amazing. We need some in the UK.
I know.
And so the BBC has had this long-standing program called Desert Island Discs. And I think it started in the early 1940s. And I'm, again, cutting it and being very mean. But the program, basically, they interview different artists, writers, celebrities. And they ask them that... So the question is, if you were stranded on a desert island... and you had to select 5 pieces of music, and you could only have those 5 pieces of music on the desert island, and you could have 1 book.
Okay.
What 5 pieces of music would you choose? And what book would you choose?
The book is Untethered Soul. Without
Michael
question.
Singer.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the book. And if I have to choose 5 pieces of music, one would be my son's because I can't live without his voice.
Aww.
So whatever he sings, 1 piece of music is that, and that's topmost priority. Apart from that, that Shri has to be one of them. That Shri Alap of Aliba Khan Saab. I think it's just so profound. It's so profound. That will have to be one.
Mm-hmm.
If you, since you're asking me today, that Babul Mura has to be one. That Bhairavi composition I was tripping over.
Kishori Amunkar.
Kishori Amunkar,
Yeah.
So that's 3.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 more. Oh wow. Let me think. One Begum Akhtar or Shubha Gurtu. If I can take both, then I exhaust my list. I'm okay with that. One Begum Akhtar Tumri, one Shubha Gurtu Tumri.
Nice. I mean, you have one more space.
No.
That's 5. Is that 5?
No, I think not. One is Rishit, one is that Shri, one is Babul Mura.
Yeah.
And Begum Akhtar and Shubha Gurtu.
Okay.
And 5.
Okay.
I wish I had more.
I mean, in the program it does have 8.
Okay, I'm fine with 5.
You're fine with 5, okay.
Because if you give me 8, I'll ask for 10. I'm very greedy that way.
That's so funny. And if you could time travel into the future, what would make you feel that the ragas are safe?
I think they are safe already.
They are safe. Yeah.
I think we have to feel safe with them.
Yeah.
And that the younger generation can make sure that they do that.
Okay.
Because the ragas, they are a living, breathing journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're ageless.
They're not supposed to be the way they are now in 100 years to
No,
come. Because they were not like this 100 years back.
Yeah.
So the point is not to keep them sane.
No.
The point is let them evolve in their own pace and direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So the ragas will be safe.
Mm-hmm.
We are no one to make them safe. I think they have given us the safety that we totally bank on. So they will be safe. Mm-hmm. It's for us to find our safety in that so that we stay relevant with them.
Mm-hmm.
So if we grow with them,
yeah,
we will find our safety in them. So I think that is something that we have to ingrain in our next generation, that if you look for your safety, look for it in the tradition, in the traditional music. Everything who you are, who you were, and who you can be found in the arts of this country. It's so rich. It is so rich.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I could speak to you for another few days.
Yes.
Will you please come back?
Yeah,
I will come back here.
I would love to. It's been incredible.
I want to also explore Tumris.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
I want to also, like, I was thinking about, your story of meeting Annapurna Devi and all of these.
Endless stories. But yes, before we end, I just want to say that, one is, talking about my guidances, my gurus, my inspirations from the field of music. But I think I'm at a point in life where I think everything in life is music and has a music to it. So every thought, every journey, every ideology, every inspiration, every principle, every story has a music. So I think everybody who has, even beyond teaching me music or being there in the musical space, there has been so many people who have enriched, this piece of life. And whatever that translates into, whatever music that translates into, I will be ever indebted to all of them. And, for being there in the journey and for enhancing, enriching this journey. So every piece of music that I sing would be a tribute to each one who has taught me life, who has exposed me to a perspective of life that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to understand or grasp. I'm just so grateful to everything that life has given me. It's been a total, an absolute blessing. And I'm so, so grateful to everything in life, because it has just given me all the music that I needed to feel.
Oh, that's so wonderful. And do you have some music coming out?
Yeah, plenty of them. I suddenly realized after Pankh that the gap between my albums are mostly 10 to 12 years. So I realized that I need to come up with more music. I'm either too busy with concerts or too lazy to do anything else.
Yeah.
So, I think 2026 is going to be a lot of new music releases. Some classical, some not so classical. But I promise that these are music that I believe in. Every piece of music that I would come up with. They can be very, very diverse, but that's who we are. We are so many people in one body and mind.
Yeah.
So I think I will try and in whatever time I have in my life left with me, I'll try to sing everything that I am and try to see how far that goes.
Amazing. Well, we look forward to hearing those releases, and good luck.
I'm looking forward as well.
Yeah, and we'll definitely have another conversation.
Oh yeah, and thank you before we end. I'm just so happy to connect with you on a very, very different level.
I know.
This has to be most sane conversation of our lifetime.
If only you knew.
Yeah, and I think we both didn't know that we could be so mature and proper and sane. But you are a beautiful host. I should give this to you. This is like a big compliment and
Thank
a lot of
you.
congratulations for this beautiful endeavor. I wish you all the very, very best, and may
Thank
the
you.
most amazing musicians come on your podcast and you
thank
fly
you.
high and have your own Pankh.
Thank you. Thank you. Lots of love.
Lots of love. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you're looking to develop your voice and understanding of North Indian vocal music, then I'm really excited to have released a new self-paced course, which is now available on the link below. The course has over 5.5 hours of classes exploring Indian voice culture, introduction to time cycles and ragas, as well as a whole class exploring vocal patterns and the opportunity to practice with it. And if you've already started your journey and you're looking to be part of an incredible community of like-minded learners, as well as learning from me, then have a look at Swaranjali, my Indian vocal music school membership program, where I teach over 30 live classes a year, in addition to exercise classes and access to in-person retreats and immersions. If you have any questions, please send me an email at hello@ranjanaghatak.com or send me a direct message on Instagram. Thank you so much, and I look forward to speaking to you.